In this tutorial today, I'm going to show you how to style this top bar navigation. So this is where it will say proposal, contract and invoice. I'll also show you how to turn on the contract and invoice section as well. By default, when you add a proposal, it will just only show proposal on the top bar. So there is a functionality underneath the forms tab where we can add the contract and invoice. But by default, it kind of looks a bit like this. So when you create a new proposal, it's just going to look like this. And you're here because you want to customize this with your branding. So let's dive in and customize the top bar navigation. So first of all, I want you to go over to your form settings, and here is where you can turn on your contract and you can select a contract that you want to show on the top bar, and then you can go to the invoice and you can add your invoice. And then you can go to the invoice options and you can have it to include your invoice. So by turning on these two functionalities, what it means is when they submit this proposal, they will go straight through to the contract to sign. When they sign the contract, they will be instantly taken to the invoice. So this makes it really easy for clients to be able to book you without the back and forth of emails. Now we've gone over how to turn on your contract and add your contract and include an invoice. You can then see when you preview it, you'll be able to see the proposal, contract and invoice. This is what it will look like once you've turned on the contract and invoice, but it still is not with your branding. So let's dive in and customize the top bar navigation. First of all, I want you to head over to form styling. And if you scroll down, you'll see this edit CSS section. So you'll be able to head over to my blog post, which I'll link in the comments. And the first thing we're going to do is change the navigation background color. So we can use this CSS class here. You can copy this and then just head back over to your Dubsado and paste it into the custom CSS. So what this is going to do is it's going to add some padding, and this is going to change the background color, and this hex code is white. So you can grab whatever hex code that you're using from your branding. I'm going to grab mine. So I've pasted in my hex code, and you can see I've put the exclamation mark important here, and that just overrides any of Dubsado's features. So if we go to preview, you'll now see that there is some padding here and the background color has changed. We've still got this line here, but we are going to dive into editing this part now. So head back over to my blog post and then just copy the section where it says changing the proposal, contract, invoice text. So now that we've pasted in, we've got the color of the text to be black, the letter spacing, again, we've got 2 pixels. We haven't added a font here, so I'm going to show you how to customize this now. But when we preview it now, you'll see that it has changed the font, but we need to add in those font families. So I have got some tutorials how to add in your Google fonts, Adobe fonts, any custom paid fonts, how to host them in Dubsado rather than hosting them on your website. So I do tutorials on all of that, and you can view that below. I'll link it in the comments. So the first thing that I'm going to do is swap out where it says your font, because obviously that's not pulling through any font. I'm going to use one of Dubsado's native fonts that they have, and I know that they have Playfair Display, so I'm going to change that to Playfair Display. So I'm going to take away the letter spacing because I don't want them to have extra space in between each of the letters. I'm going to make this slightly bigger, probably 20 pixels, and I don't want this to be all uppercase. I want only the first letter to be a cap, so I'm going to change it to capitalize. So now when we preview this, you'll see the text is now changed to Playfair Display. It's obviously still black because I didn't change the hex code, but it's not uppercase, it's capitalized, and it's now 20 pixels. So by default, the text will come bold. So if you want to change the font weight and also remove the underline, so if you head back over to the blog, if you copy this CSS code, then go to edit form, go back over to the form styling. So by adding this code, it's going to remove that line that's under the proposal, contract and invoice text. And if you want to change the font weight, so where it says the proposal text, add a new line, and then you can just add font weight, and you can put it at 400, which is a regular font weight. So let's go back into preview, and you will see that now the font weight is changed to 400, which is regular, and it's removed that line. So the next thing we want to do is when we hover over this, we're going to change the color. So if we go back into edit form, if you head over to my blog post, then you can see changing proposal, the color, the text. So if you copy this, head back over and paste this in, then at the moment, I've just obviously got it set as black. So if you go and grab a hex code, so I'm just going to grab a random hex code here. So I'm going to paste in that hex code. So now when we preview it, you'll see when we hover over, it will now change to orange. So that is how to style the top bar navigation in Dubsado proposals. So if you're looking for help with your Dubsado proposals, I actually offer one-click proposal templates for service-based businesses. All of these templates can be used for any service-based business, and I have 6 different templates that are currently for sale in my shop, and they are super affordable. Make sure to hit the subscribe button for more tips on Dubsado, websites, and SEO.